Good morning. September 26th, Hurricane Ian spinning up in the Gulf, coming across Cuba. The last update I took just a few minutes ago, turning it in toward Tampa, so hopefully that's what we're going to see. Phone's been ringing a lot over the weekend and this morning. Hey, remind me how the HIP policy works, or the hurricane policy as most of us refer to it. So give you a quick example or two about what to look for, how to figure your own, at least have an idea of what's going on. So HIP/WI is the hurricane policy as we refer to it. Is very, very simple. If you have a Cat 1 storm in your county or the county that touches you, you get a payment. Doesn't matter if it affects your crop, don't matter if you've already finished picking, all that's irrelevant. If you get the storm Cat 1 sustained or higher, that's 74 miles an hour or higher, Cat 1 sustained, if you get the storm, you get the payment, okay? So it's not just the center line track of the storm that they look at, it's how big the wind field is. So let's just say that wind field's 5 counties wide as a Cat 1, and as it goes up into Florida or Georgia or Alabama, wherever it hits, that wind field's going to shrink until it turns into a tropical depression or tropical storm. So however big the wind field is, sustained winds plus 1 county is what's going to pay. It takes about 2 weeks before they will announce NOAA's track and how big the wind field was. It takes about 2 weeks. And then about 2 weeks after that, you're going to receive a check. So it's nothing you have to do. Don't have to give notice. We take care of everything. So how does it pay? All right, so do a real simple example. Let's say that I've got a cotton farm that I took HIP coverage on. I have 70% regular insurance, so 70% of a 1,000-pound average farm, 700 pounds of regular crop insurance per acre. HIP comes in here and says, I set on the top of your crop insurance. So I go from 70% level crop insurance to 95% of the farm average. So from 700 pounds is where my crop insurance stops to 95% of that farm average, which would be 950 pounds. So from 700 pounds to 950 pounds is what the full potential of HIP for that particular cotton farm would look like. So 250 pounds of cotton at $1 a pound, it's a little more than that, but just round numbers. It's $250 worth of potential if you had 100% participation in the HIP policy. The closer we get down to the Gulf, the less farmers, or the fewer farmers maybe I should say, have 100% participation because of the price. Most guys have 25% participation or 33% participation or 50% participation. So what would that payment look like? Well, we've already established there's 250 pounds here at $1 a pound, it's $250 worth of potential. So simple math, if I'm 25% participation, 25% of $250, $62 an acre, a claim, 33%, $82, 50%, $125, $75, $187. If you were 100% participation on HIP in that county that triggered, then of course $250. Let's switch over. How does it work on peanuts? Same way. 4,000 pound average, 70% level, gives us 2,800 pounds of regular crop insurance coverage. HIP sets on top of that. 95% of 4,000 pounds is 3,800. So from 2,800 to 3,800 right here, 1,000 pounds at $4.80 a ton or $24.04 a pound is about $240 worth of coverage potential if you have 100% participation on that peanut crop. It's by county, remember. So 25% participation of $240 is $60, 33% $79, 50% $120. 75, 180, if you happen to hit right and had 100% participation is what you chose by February 28th, it'd be $240 an acre. We do that on every farm that you have peanuts on, every farm that you have cotton on. Some of you guys, not so much across the Gulf Coast area, but a little further up, decided to go with stacks this year. So if you have stacks, you got to wait until next August to know if the county picks short. But we're just talking about HIP today. So if you have stacks questions, call me. HIP is all we're talking about. So Cat 1 sustained, 74 or higher, your county or adjoining county. As soon as they determine which counties were affected, about 2 weeks after that, they generate the check. you have coverage on hip until the end of the insurance period for that crop. So for corn growers, you have coverage on hip from the time you plant until December 10th. So if you get a storm anywhere during that period of time, you're going to have a claim, right? So peanuts until 11/30, cotton 12/31, soybeans 12/10, grain sorghum 12/10. Here's one more quick example and I'll let you go. 12/31 is the end of the insurance period on cotton. So let's say that on 12/1 we get a hurricane in your county or adjoining county. You've already finished picking your cotton, but it comes in before the end of the insurance period. You're going to get that payment even if all that cotton's already sitting on the yard, wrapped up in modules. So from the time you have a claim to the last day of the insurance period is what HIP covers. Doesn't have to be in the field, doesn't have to affect your crop. If you have HIP questions, call me. It's very simple. Cat 1 sustain is what we need to remember. Schedules of insurance. Why have you not received your schedule of insurance? Well, it's not my fault. Waiting on the company, lots of computer glitches between the company and the feds, between me and the feds. We keyed it all in timely. Still don't have a schedule of insurance. I can print you a preliminary schedule of insurance. I've checked it. I know it's right. It's what it will come down as eventually, hopefully next week. But I've been hearing next week for about a month now. So you hadn't received your map book. Everybody loves their map book, got all your farms. Hadn't received that because we can't print the finalized schedules of insurance. So if we don't have that finalized schedule of insurance by the 1st of next week, we're just going to print you a preliminary one, send that to you and hope for the best. Just know it's not on me. When you get that preliminary schedule of insurance, please, 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 please look at it. Make sure that it matches what you turned into FSA, because remember, that's what you turned into me for acreage. So we copied that 578 exactly. If they made a mistake, then there is a mistake. So please, when you get that preliminary schedule of insurance, check it and let's make sure there's no errors. We don't want to get in a claim situation and have that. One final thing. You know, every year we open claims for you guys just because we've had years where we've had too much water or too little water. Well, this year, we know it's too much water, excessive precipitation. So we always want to open a timely claim and give notice to the company so they can do everything they need to do. Adjusters can be assigned so you don't have to wait. So currently, as of today, I'm waiting to see what this hurricane's going to do. If we have damage from it, I'm going to open your claims immediately after landfall. Within that window of the 3-day period, I'm going to open your claims for hurricane damage or tropical disturbance, tropical depression, whatever we end up with. Sometimes the money will come down through USDA in a year or two after the fact based on what the cause of loss was. So if we don't get the storm, I'll be opening claims next week for all you guys for excessive precipitation, but don't want to do it twice. So just know that I'm on top of that. Start giving claim notices next week either way. You're going to receive a phone call from the claims team, from one of those nice guys calling and saying, hey, you gave notice to your agent that you have a claim. Yes, you did, because I've talked to all of you. So when they call, just say, look, there's a possibility that I may have a claim. Just want to give notice. And so they'll understand. They'll assign you to a local adjuster, and they'll just defer everything until you're finished picking. But that makes you give notice, me give notice, and puts the burden on them. And it's one less thing for you to think about, one less thing for me to think about. So thank you. Hopefully I'm freed up a little bit and be out of the office some now and get out and ride and see what kind of crop we've got. Stop by the farm and see you pick a little bit. I feel like I hadn't seen you in forever. We had COVID for so long and terrible year as far as paperwork and problems within the office and within computer programming worlds, I guess. And so hopefully we're over that now. So look forward to the schedule of insurance coming to you. Look forward to a good crop. If you have questions on stacks, hurricane, claims, schedules of insurance, you call me, text me, and I'll be right on top of that. Thank you for all you do. We appreciate the business.